Janet with Try It Like It Created, and today I'm working with cut cardstock, and we're using their basic card. And what I have in front of me is their basic card in 4 by 6 inches. And so I am also using Pixie Spray, which I sprayed onto the back of a stencil that I cut, and I also cut it out of basic cardstock in white. So we're going to be making 2 versions. I originally was going to cut this large stencil out of my overhead plastic sheet, but it kind of tore in some areas, so I salvaged what I could, and what ended up being is about 3 inches tall, which is, you know, half of the cardstock. So I think what we're going to do is I cut the cardstock in half, the card base in half, so that we can make some small cards, and then we'll also make a large card. We're going to use similar technique here. And so what I'm going to do is take my card, and I'm working on glass mat, so I apologize for the glare of the lights, but it works really nice for ink blending and cleaning up. So that is something we'll just have to deal with for this project. So I am taping down the 3 by 4 card, and then I'm going to take my stencil, which I sprayed with the Pixie Spray, which should make it stick down, and it seems to be doing pretty well there. So just as a precaution, I think I'm just going to add a little additional tape to hold it in place, just in case. So I pulled out some colors of distressed oxide, and so I have worn lipstick. I'm working in these colors, by the way, that my tape is in. It's just a happy accident there. Okay, so worn lipstick. I have pickled raspberry. I have squeezed lemonade, and I have ripe persimmon. So you can see that these are actually the same colors as the tape. So I am just going to randomly kind of blend these all over the stencil, and then we'll remove it and see how it works. So I think I'm going to start with the ripe persimmon, and just start in a couple of areas here. And then, because it's small, I'm going to swap out pretty quickly. And I'm going to go with pinks. And I think we'll start with the worn lipstick. And I'm using a purple brush that's kind of what I have that's closest to the pink color. Then we're going to do the pickled raspberry. See how close these are in color. And so very little area left open, which is fine for working with the squeeze. Ooh, what a squeaky noise. To be working with the squeezed lemonade, because it will blend those other colors real nice together, because they're close to each other on the color wheel. I think that looks good. All right, so for the reveal, let's just peel this off and see how our stencil did. Yeah, really nice coverage. All right, so there is our first one. I'm just going to tape that stencil up to the side here. So there's our first card. And get rid of this washi tape, although it looks really nice with those colors. And I might go back in and add a word or a stamp down here at the bottom, but that's the first using the stencil. And I will have a free SVG of the stencil for you to use on my site. And so all I have to do here is clean up, and then we'll move on to our cardstock. And we're basically doing the same technique with the larger card, but instead of stenciling, what I'm going to do is glue the white piece over the top. So I know my card base here is not white. I know it's like an off-white. I forget what it's called. I'll make a comment down below in the text to tell you what exactly it is. But this is going to glue on top. So it in a sense, it's going to look just like this, but it's going to be with the white on top. So it's going to look more like, if I flip this guy over, it's going to look very much similar, just a different way to do it. Instead of using it as a stencil, we're going to use it as a piece that glues on top. So going into those same colors again, I'm just going to randomly blend on my card front here, working to fill it up. Alright, so that's our finished blending on the front, and so now all we need to do is glue this on top. So it's a little bit different. It looks to be a little bit more subtle, but I like what we're doing here. Alright, so now we just need some glue on this. And let me move my card out of the way. Actually, let me clean this up because I don't want to accidentally get any color on my top piece. Alright, in fact, I'm going to grab a piece of white paper here to put down. Alright, that'll work. So now I'm just going to go in here and add glue. Now, one nice way to add glue or to get it moved around here would be to use a cosmetic sponge and to kind of go over all the pieces. I'm going to use my finger here, and in fact, I might just come in with a glue stick and hit some of these pieces because that might actually work the best. So let's see. My glue stick started. I'm going to go into some of these crazy pieces that just don't want to cooperate as well. So I was going to use my Xyron machine and run this through. Unfortunately, I had a box of, I was going to refill my machine, and I did have a box that said that it was the adhesive. Put it in my machine, ran a stencil through it, and it's actually laminate. So there was no saving that piece. And this one seems to have picked up some paper from the surface of the paper I sat it down on, unfortunately. So got some wobbly bits here on the front that I'm going to have to clean up. But I think all right, I'm going to have to fix that. Let's see. Here's my little glue trick that I learned. I honestly don't remember who I learned it from. But you slide it underneath the pieces you want to stick down. And get that glue on there. Alright, so there is our second card using that same stencil. So let me bring the other part in, and then, like I said, I will go in and clean the adhesive and stuff off the front of this one. But there's the two side by side. There's not, I guess, not a whole lot of difference between them. I mean, we use the same colors, we use the same stencil. We placed one down on top so it has a little dimension to it with the border. And then this one, we used it truly as a stencil. So I'm not sure which I like better or if there's a difference. If I really was to pick, I think I like the stenciled version. But let me know what you think down in the comments. To add a sentiment to each card, I have picked out this saying, love yourself. And for the card that we glued the piece on top, we cannot stamp on it because it's three-dimensional, or it has dimension to it, I should say. So I've stamped it on a separate piece that matches, it was a leftover piece actually from the cardstock. So this can get glued on here, which is real cute, but I think I want to round the corners and then maybe even do some ink blending. So I'm going to bring my punch in and hopefully I can punch without cropping into the words. Let's just see how this works out for me. So yeah, this one always seems to leave a little rough nib on the end. I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about here. Oops, not on camera. There. So I need to take my scissors, fix that. And actually this one corner didn't get curved quite as much as the others. So let's see if I can get into it. A little worried about how that's going to turn out, but yeah, I don't know. I have issue with this one every so often. So fix it with a pair of scissors as best I can. All right, so we're left with that to go there, but it looks pretty dull to me. I think I'm going to want to do some ink blending on that. So I have put my brushes away, so let me pull those back out. I think I'm going to go with the pink. Let's just see what's left here on this brush. So let's take a peek and see how that's gonna sit in there. Not bad. Maybe should have been orange, I guess. But the other thing that we can do is just kind of drag the edge through the pink. So that's going to give us kind of a little orange line, if you will, around the edge. We'll just see how this looks. Alright, so that will get glued in place. And we can, you know, it can go in a number of different ways. The card can go horizontal. It can go vertical. I actually like that a little bit better. I might lift that up with some foam dots. So something like that, and then maybe a few little gems or something down here. I'll have to think about that. Now this card, because it's flat, it can actually get stamped on. So I'm going to just take the stamp, get some black ink on it, and we're just going to go for it, and hopefully it works out for us. So I'm going to, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to line up the yourself at the bottom of our stencil, and then just go up a little teeny bit and stamp, and hopefully I'm square. If not, it's too late. I guess we could always cover it up, but we're going to call it done. So there, not bad. Not bad at all. All right. Felt like I was a little bit more crooked than I actually was there. So that one, or, you know, you could add this. So we're going to call this one done. And this one, I'm going to grab, let me lean over here and grab some foam tape. All right, I got some dots, or actually squares, and it's not going to cover the whole piece. I don't see my roll of tape. Oh well, we'll just do this. And I know I'm off camera, sorry. You can see I'm just putting 4 dots in the corner. And we're just going to let that do its thing. All right. Somehow there is a dot of glitter on the card, and I really like what it looks like. So I'm thinking we need to add a little glitz to this. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. I'm not seeing it, but there is a few pieces of glitter in there every once in a while. Okay, I don't know. Okay, so there, not bad. And I guess we can leave it, or the other thing we could do is, let me look here and see, I've got a gold Nuvo in Aqua Shimmer, and this thing is really nice. So I don't know, can you see? I think you can probably, let me see if I get the light on it again. There we go. All right, so it does a little bit of gold, and I think, let's see, I'm supposed to press back here to get more to come out. And so yeah, I think I can just go in here and touch up some areas. And just swirl around. So that's one swirl, and that looks really nice. Let's go into this swirl up here. So it's really subtle, and I honestly don't even know if the camera is picking it up or not, but it really is adding just a little extra to this card. So subtle, but in person, I like it. So what I'm doing off camera here, I'm using this scrap piece to test it so I don't get a big blob of it on my card. And so then there's a puddle there. And so instead of squeezing the pen too much. I'm just going over there to pick up some of the sparkle. And like I said, this is extremely subtle, but it is giving it a little bit of glitz. And my workstation is just full of pieces and parts that I've used for this card. So I'm going to have to clean up. I don't know about you, but I am not the neatest crafter. Do you find yourself putting things away as you use them, or do you end up with a whole pile of stuff on your desktop? I end up with a bunch of stuff and I end up pushing it off to the side. I try to clean up before I leave each time. Sometimes I will just make a neat pile of things that need to get put away when I come down the next day. And if you could see the space around me, you would know that I'm not a neat crafter, because I have stuff piled up everywhere. It is just a maze to get in here, and I really need to take some time away to clean up. But there, maybe, I don't know, maybe you're seeing some of the sparkle. I like it. It's really nice. And it really did just finish off that card. So, all right, I'm going to call these finished. I'm going to clean up and take pictures.